Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to convert your Korg Sq1 from a battery to a Eurorack power supply. To do the conversion you'll need a soldering iron, double-sided tape, a multimeter, 2mm hex or Allen key, a fine flathead screwdriver and a crosshead screwdriver. You will also need a 10-pin socket for the Eurorack cable, perf board, and here is a step-down voltage regulator from 12 to 3 volts. You can buy these off eBay quite cheaply. You'll also need some kind of foam for insulating between the circuit board and where it sits inside the battery compartment of the Sq1. When you are finished with the conversion, it should sit snugly inside the battery holder. On the bottom is where you put the thin layer of non-conductive foam. You can then use double-sided tape to secure the perf board to the foam and then the foam to the bottom of the case. Here I have used a piece of hardened foam, also using the same with the double-sided tape to hold it in place. This is where your pin socket is, and the wires go straight through to where the battery was originally connected. I will walk you through the process. As I've already done mine, I will not be repeating it. I will just show you how I did it if you decide to do it yourself. To begin disassembling the unit, remove the selector dial switch first. This should just pull off. Next, remove the screws from both sides of the units using the Phillips screwdriver. Once you remove the side screws, remove the hex screws on the top here. Once you've done this, you can then take the Sq1 apart, being very careful how you do this, as it can be a bit stiff at first. The wires are attached inside from the battery holder to the circuit here. Here we have a cable holder securing the cable in place. You can unwrap this around the cable, freeing up the wires for the battery itself. To remove the battery clip, desolder the negative wire here and the positive wire here. This is where you'll connect the new circuit up into the Sq1. Unthread the wires through here in the slot and take the battery clip away. This is where you will rethread the new wires into the battery holder. To build the circuit, you will need the perf board, which is 35 long and 25 across. Here you'll see I have the socket lug facing inside. This is where your regulator is, and here is your negative side. The other side is your positive. The 3 pins in between are your earths. On the back of the regulator you'll see here in. This is for your negative and your positive. These come from your Eurorack power supply block, and this here the outputs go to your SQ1 for your power. When you are soldering the Eurorack block for the power supply onto the perf board, solder these two pins here and these two pins here for the power supply, and the 6 pins in the middle I soldered each set together for the earth back to the Eurorack. Here on the circuit board is the potentiometer, which you will adjust to get the 12 volts down to 3.3 volts using your multimeter and a fine screwdriver. When you mount the step down voltage regulator onto the perf board, on this side the 2 wires connecting the input to the regulator are connected to the perf board direct down here with wires. These 2 here you do not connect to the perf board. These go directly to the circuit board of the SQ1. The reason why you connect it up this way is because here you'll see where the lug goes in is the positive side of the socket, and also it allows you access to remove the cable if you wish to take the SQ1 out of the Eurorack. To make sure there is enough clearance for your wires to be placed underneath the circuit of the regulator onto the perf board, I can suggest using a non-conductive piece of foam about this thick or thicker if you wish, with some double-sided tape to secure it. This will also help if you come to unplug the circuit from the Eurorack. It will not pull the whole circuit away from the perf board and damage it. To finish off the sequencer conversion, you can make a set of rack mount ears so you can install it into the Eurorack system. Once you've installed the Korg back into your Eurorack system, you can then switch it on here if you wish to, and you can set it going. That's it finished. And you can also switch it back off again without switching the Eurorack off. Hope this is helpful to somebody. It'll save you some batteries. The only downside to it is you cannot use the USB port because it's covered by the actual plates themselves, and there isn't enough room between where the USB connection is and the inside of the Eurorack rail. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.